You have a validated idea that generated real excitement early on, but when introduced to a larger team, the momentum hits a wall. Getting a group to execute on an idea introduces a completely different set of friction points than simply pitching it. The clarity you have in your head gets diluted the moment multiple stakeholders try to interpret it. In the beginning, your focus was on vertical scaling. That means doing the heavy lifting to get the core message perfectly dialed in so that a single target audience member understands it immediately. But executing that idea requires horizontal scaling. That is the ongoing struggle to keep hundreds of different people aligned as the project lives, breathes, and inevitably changes over time. When progress slows down during this phase, leaders tend to blame their team's execution or work ethic. In reality, the friction comes from the communication infrastructure. The way the idea is being shared is actively preventing the team from moving forward. The default communication method for most organizations still relies heavily on static project artifacts, emailing PDF attachments, circulating local slide decks, and handing out printed briefs. Relying on those static files forces everyone into an isolated, localized understanding of the project. The second you hit send, that document is frozen, and any subsequent updates render it immediately outdated. The trade-off here is severe. Your organization's progress becomes entirely tethered to your physical ability to manually explain every new update to every single stakeholder. An extra 10 minutes clarifying a change in a meeting, a 20-minute follow-up email thread. These manual explanations act as a hidden compounding tax on your team's daily execution speed. Eventually, the sheer volume of manual alignment required to keep everyone on the same page completely overtakes the actual work. Forward momentum halts. To achieve actual horizontal scale, you have to abandon stale, disconnected artifacts and transition your workflow into a living, cross-domain source of truth. Figuring out how to fix this starts with an honest look at your current workflow. We use a retrospective framework to diagnose exactly where your process is stagnating, starting with the daily frustrations that drain your team's energy. First, look at how version control is handled. If you are relying on standard email detachments to push updates to a group, you are building in a delay. The result is that your stakeholders will frequently reference, act upon, and even present material to others that is entirely obsolete. This leads directly to embarrassing corrections in critical meetings and creates a massive administrative drag as you constantly wrangle people back to the correct version. Second, consider how you leave a room after a successful pitch. If you deliver a compelling presentation, but fail to provide an actionable, trackable web link to the living project, you will generate high engagement and excitement in the room, followed by zero immediate action the moment the meeting ends. These missed opportunities tell us something highly specific. Your idea is entirely valid, but it is currently blocked by delivery constraints. You don't have a lack of insight. You have a distribution problem. We can also evaluate this objectively by looking strictly at your team's communication infrastructure and the costs associated with it. Calculate the hours spent manually synchronizing disparate teams. Think about the effort required to get the marketing, product, and legal departments all looking at the exact same data. Those hours translate directly into high operational overhead and severely delayed project timelines. This is an expensive lesson for any growing organization. It points directly to a need to aggressively reduce human-intensive collaboration. The modern alternative relies on continuous, self-improving, cloud-first live edit technology. This flowchart illustrates how modern web interfaces process that workflow. Notice the decision points. When an idea is correctly understood and the next step is actionable, it creates a direct path to an opportunity to scale exponentially. This is the turning point for most professionals. Recognizing that establishing a single source of truth allows you to push updates to hundreds of people asynchronously for less than a penny of compute power. Upgrading your digital infrastructure replaces manual check-ins with parallel improvement. It realigns your team's execution speed with the speed of your original idea. This idea scalability table and digital cargo ship break down how we diagnose pain points, mapping workflow blocks to next steps. Look at the lower tier. Scores under 15 indicate an early-stage idea that needs foundational clarity before it can be shared widely. The solution at this stage is inexpensive. An investment of a few $100s in data briefs can recreate your product as a web-optimized live edit pitch. This solves your initial clarity problem, ensuring the idea makes sense. However, it does not provide the secure, multi-user workspace your team needs for actual execution. Now look at the mid-tier, for scores between 15 and 29. This is for leaders whose ideas are clear, but who are actively failing at horizontal scaling due to infrastructure limits. Accurately diagnosing your score here is critical. If your bottleneck is a lack of an enterprise collaboration hub, spending money to rewrite early-stage pitches is a waste of capital. You need infrastructure, not a new slide deck. This idea readiness brief document outlines the specific solution for that horizontal scaling tier, committing to a 90-day cross-domain digital office platform. This investment establishes a dedicated multi-tenant collaboration hub built on Microsoft SharePoint. This provides a core protective benefit. It connects disparate user security domains so your team can work together, preserving a shared source of truth and enabling parallel contributions without fracturing the idea into conflicting versions. Setting this up requires a moderate upfront budget of $6,000. In exchange, you get a system that allows you to instantly deploy future updates and retroactive lessons learned across your entire stakeholder base. Your current frustration is a normal, solvable growing pain. You put in the effort to create a great concept, and hitting a wall simply means you outgrew the tools you started with. Implementing a digital office platform is the logical continuation for an idea that is validated, understood, and finally ready to scale.